2nd of October is not just another date on the calendar. It is a marker, a line drawn in time that separates what has been from what must be. Too often, we drift through days thinking there will always be another chance, another tomorrow, another opportunity to make things right. But there comes a moment when delaying is no longer an option. That moment is 2 October. It is the point where hesitation must die and action must be born. If you reach this day with the same excuses, the same habits, the same fears, then you will carry them forward into the future and they will control you. But if you choose differently on the 2 October, you claim ownership of your life in a way you never have before. Every person has a turning point. Some call it destiny, others call it fate. But in reality, it is simply the result of choices converging into one unavoidable truth. You cannot keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. 2 October carries the weight of urgency because it represents the truth. It says, enough wasting time, enough waiting for motivation, enough hiding behind what is comfortable. On this day, you either step forward or you remain trapped. There is no middle ground anymore. The reason 2 October is the point of no return is because once you recognize the importance of this moment, you cannot pretend you did not see it. Awareness brings responsibility. If you ignore it, then you make a choice to stay in the same place, and that choice has consequences. Life has a way of punishing delay, of punishing hesitation. When the clock runs down and opportunities pass, there is no way to get them back. That is why this date matters so much. It is not about the calendar itself. It is about the commitment you tie to it. Think about how many times you have said, I will start tomorrow. Think about how many times you have convinced yourself that there is still time. That thinking has already stolen years from your life. 2 October must be the day when this cycle ends. It must be the moment when you decide that no more days will slip away unnoticed. The hours leading up to this day are a countdown. Every second is a reminder that time does not wait, that life does not pause for you to gather courage. You either act within the window you are given or you live with regret. 2 October must be seen as a mirror. It reflects back the truth of who you are, not who you pretend to be. The mirror does not lie. It shows whether you are disciplined or distracted, whether you are strong or still making excuses. And when you look into that mirror on this day, you must be able to say to yourself that you did not waste it, that you gave everything, that you honored the time given to you. Because if you do not, then the mirror will become a reminder of your weakness. And that reminder will follow you into every day that comes after. This is why urgency is powerful. Urgency strips away illusions. It forces clarity. When the hours are counted, when the deadline approaches, you no longer have the luxury of endless options. You must choose. And that choice is everything. 2 October is the deadline that brings this clarity. It is the fire that burns away hesitation, the weight that forces you to stand firm or collapse. It is the point of no return, because after this day, you cannot tell yourself the lie that you had more time. What makes this moment dramatic is not the date itself, but the decision you attach to it. When you stand on the 2nd of October, you are declaring to yourself this is the cut, this is the day when old habits die. This is the day when excuses no longer control me. This is the day when I stop saying someday and I start living in today. Once you declare this, the old self cannot return. That is why it is the point of no return. There is no growth without urgency. There is no transformation without pressure. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And character is built when a person faces the moment where delay is no longer possible. 2nd of October is that fire, that pressure, that forge. If you embrace it, you will not be the same person again. But if you ignore it, the weight of regret will burn deeper than any discipline ever could. So understand this 2 October is not an event you wait for. It is a decision you prepare for. You sharpen yourself before it arrives. You cut away distractions before it comes. You make yourself ready so that when the moment strikes, you are already in motion. Because when it comes, it will not wait for you. Time will not slow down to accommodate your doubts. It will move forward with or without you. And if you are not ready, you will be left behind. This is the seriousness of 2nd October. It is a call to stop pretending. It is the line you cannot cross backward. Once you make the decision on this day, you step into a new self, and that self demands more of you. This is why it is the point of no return, and you will never be another 2nd October. There will never be another chance to seize this exact moment. The question is not whether it matters, it already does. The question is whether you will rise to meet it. The power of urgency is the force that separates those who act from those who wait. 2 October is not about waiting. It is about realizing that there is no more time to lose. Urgency changes everything. It sharpens the mind, it awakens the body, and it pushes the spirit into movement. Without urgency, people delay. They plan, they think, they dream, but they never act. With urgency, there is no room for delay. Action becomes the only choice. 2 October is the moment when urgency must take control, because without it, you will remain exactly where you are. Time has always been moving. It never stops. While you sit still, while you hesitate, while you think there will always be another chance, time leaves you behind. That is why urgency is so powerful. It is the realization that every second matters. 2nd October is the day to feel this powerfully, to let urgency burn through your excuses. You cannot wait for the perfect conditions because they will never arrive. You cannot wait for someone to push you because they will never carry you. 2nd of October is about stepping forward even when you are not ready, because waiting for readiness is the same as waiting for nothing. Urgency gives birth to discipline. When you live as though the hours are limited, your focus becomes sharp. You cut away distractions. You no longer spend time on what does not matter. You no longer waste energy on small things. You direct yourself toward what is essential because urgency teaches you what matters most. On the 2nd October, you must allow this urgency to guide your steps. Every choice, every action, every word should be aligned with what brings growth. Do not underestimate how urgency transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. A man can train for years without intensity and his growth will remain small. But when urgency takes hold, even one day of full commitment can equal weeks of lazy effort. That is the difference. 2nd October can be one of those days that carries the weight of years. If you treat it as your final chance, if you pour yourself fully into the hours, you will not be the same when it ends. Without urgency, goals remain dreams. Without urgency, change is only a wish. Urgency makes you understand that tomorrow is never promised. It forces you to act as though today is all you have. On a 2 October, this understanding must be alive in you. Every moment must be filled with action, with effort, with commitment. Because if you let this day pass slowly, if you let it slip through your fingers like all the other days before it, then nothing will change. Urgency does not mean panic. Urgency does not mean fear. It means clarity. It means moving with determination, with awareness, with fire. It means not wasting another second on regret or hesitation. On a 2nd October, urgency will demand that you step forward with courage. It will demand that you stop hiding behind your comfort. It will demand that you stop waiting for the right time. This is the right time. There is no other. The power of urgency also exposes truth. It shows you whether you are truly committed or whether you are still lying to yourself. When the hours are short, when the deadline is near, excuses can no longer survive. Urgency strips them away. It reveals who is ready to stand and who will collapse under the pressure. On 2nd October, you will face this truth. It will not be comfortable, but it will be necessary. Growth never comes from comfort. Growth comes when urgency forces you out of what is easy and into what is required. This urgency is the fuel of transformation. Without it, the fire dies. With it, you can burn through barriers you once thought were impossible. Urgency brings energy. Urgency brings focus. Urgency brings strength you did not know you had. That is why 2nd October cannot be taken lightly. It is the reminder that life does not wait, and neither can you. There will always be people who think they have more time. They will plan forever, but they will never act. Their lives will remain the same. But those who embrace urgency, those who understand the weight of 2nd October, will move forward while others stand still. They will take the opportunities while others are still thinking. They will create while others are still waiting. That is the power of urgency. It is the dividing line between action and delay, between growth and stagnation, between life and regret. So when 2nd October comes, let urgency guide you. Let it remove hesitation. Let it strip away distraction. Let it remind you that the hours are precious and cannot be wasted. Step into the urgency of this moment and act with full force. This is not the time to think. This is the time to move. Once you feel the power of urgency, you will never return to the life of delay again. That is why 2 October matters. It is not only a date, it is the fire that demands action now. 2 October must be the end of cycles that no longer serve you. Life repeats itself when you do not change. The same mistakes, the same excuses, the same disappointments, they all come back again and again because you have not yet chosen to break them. This is why 2 October is not just another day, it is the chance to put an end to what has been holding you down. It is the line where you decide that the old story is finished, that the same patterns will not continue anymore. If you do not stop them now, they will carry on with you into the days ahead, and nothing will ever be different. Cycles are dangerous because they feel safe. Waking up with the same habits feels comfortable. Living with the same thoughts feels normal. But comfort does not equal growth. It is a trap that keeps you from seeing what more is possible. 2 October is the day to shatter that trap. It is the day to recognize that what feels safe is what is keeping you small. If you want transformation, if you want freedom, you must break the cycle. Breaking cycles demands courage. It is not easy to step away from what you have always known. Even when those habits are destroying you, the mind clings to them because they are familiar. 2 October is not about easy choices. It is about necessary choices. If you want to grow, you must choose what is hard now so that life becomes easier later. If you keep choosing what is easy now, life will only grow harder. 2 October is the perfect moment to make this shift. The cycles you break on this day will define your future. If you stop repeating the thoughts that tell you, I can't, you will unlock strength you did not realize was there. If you stop repeating the habit of delay, you will begin to see progress where before there was only frustration. If you stop repeating the patterns of fear, you will find courage rising within you. 2 October is the doorway into this new reality. You either walk through it or you stay chained to the past. Nothing will change until you stop allowing the past to dictate your present. On 2 October, you must look at yourself honestly. Ask what patterns you are carrying that no longer serve your growth. See the ways you keep sabotaging yourself. Recognize the comfort zones that are slowly killing your potential. Awareness is the first step, but action must follow. Awareness without action is just another cycle. On 2 October, you must act. Every cycle you break is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that you will not accept less from yourself anymore. You will not tolerate laziness disguised as rest, fear disguised as caution, or excuses disguised as logic. On 2 October, you rise above the lies you have been telling yourself. You take responsibility for everything. You stop blaming circumstances and you stop blaming others. The cycle ends with you because you decide it ends. Do not underestimate the power of one decision. One day can change everything. 2 October can be that day if you let it. The cycle of delay, of waiting for a better moment must die here. The cycle of small effort, of never giving your full energy must die here. The cycle of fear, of playing safe must die here. If you do not break them now, you will carry them into every day after, and every tomorrow will look the same as yesterday. That is not growth, that is slow death. Breaking old cycles will hurt. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel unfamiliar, but that is how you know it is working. Growth never feels like comfort at first. Growth is pressure, it is challenge, it is stepping into what feels uncertain. 2 October is about embracing that pressure, about stepping into that challenge with full force. Once you do, the pain of breaking old cycles becomes the fuel for building new ones. There is nothing more powerful than starting anew. To wake up on the 2nd of October and declare that the old self is gone, that the old cycles are broken, that today marks the beginning of a new chapter. That kind of clarity, that kind of force changes everything. Once the old cycles are broken, you create space for new habits, new strength, new discipline to grow. This is how transformation begins, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Understand this clearly. 2nd October is not simply a date, it is a choice. It is the day where you either carry your old cycles forward or you destroy them and make space for something greater. It is the day where you declare enough living in repetition, enough circling the same path, enough waiting for change without creating it. Breaking the cycle is not optional if you want growth. It is the only way. So when 2nd of October comes, let it be the end of what has been holding you back. Cut the chains of delay, cut the habits of weakness, cut the patterns of fear. Break the cycle completely and without hesitation. This is the moment when the old story dies and a new one begins. This is why 2nd of October matters. It is the day when you stop repeating and start becoming. Motivation comes and goes. It rises when things feel inspiring, and it disappears the moment life grows heavy. If you rely only on motivation, you will never reach your true potential because it cannot carry you through the storms. What carries you through is discipline. 2 October is the day to understand this truth deeply. It is the day to stop depending on feelings and start depending on structure. Feelings will betray you, but discipline will never fail you. On the 2nd of October, you must build the kind of self that acts regardless of how it feels. Growth is not about doing what is easy when the mood is right. Growth is about showing up even when the body is tired, even when the mind is heavy, even when excuses are screaming in your ear. Discipline silences those excuses. It says, this is what must be done, and it will be done. That is the voice you must strengthen on this day, because without it, motivation alone will fade. Every person has felt the rush of motivation. After hearing words of encouragement or seeing something inspiring, the fire burns for a while. But then the days pass and the fire cools. This is why 2 October cannot rely on inspiration alone. This day must be about creating a system of action that you follow whether or not you feel inspired. This is discipline. It is steady. It is unshakable. It is consistent. Where motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Discipline is what transforms urgency into results. Urgency may push you to start, but only discipline will keep you going. Without discipline, the energy of 2 of October will fade quickly. With discipline, it will carry on long after the moment has passed. This is how transformation truly happens. Not in bursts of passion, but in steady, repeated action. 2 of October is the moment to build this foundation. When you live with discipline, you take control of your life. You no longer wait for inspiration. You no longer rely on mood or circumstance. You create momentum through action. One small step repeated every day builds into something unstoppable. But if you wait for motivation, you will only move when life is easy, and life is rarely easy. This is why discipline matters more than anything. On the 2nd of October, you must anchor yourself in discipline so firmly that nothing can shake you. Discipline is the path to freedom. At first, it feels restrictive because it demands consistency, it demands effort, it demands sacrifice. But soon, you realize it gives you power. It gives you control over your habits, over your time, over your destiny. When you are disciplined, you are no longer a slave to feelings. You are no longer trapped by laziness or distraction. You are in charge. On the 2 October, this power is in your hands if you choose it. Do not confuse discipline with punishment. Discipline is a gift to yourself. It is proof that you care enough to demand more from your life. It is proof that you are willing to build strength instead of weakness. Motivation might make you feel good, but discipline makes you great. On the 2 October, greatness must be your focus. This day is too important to waste on temporary feelings. This day is about building a foundation strong enough to carry you into every tomorrow. Discipline also brings clarity. When you are disciplined, you no longer waste time deciding whether or not to act. The decision is already made. The structure is already set. You follow it. This removes doubt. It removes hesitation. It removes delay. And with that clarity, you move forward faster than ever before. On the 2 October, clarity through discipline will cut through the noise of your mind and push you directly toward growth. Understand that true self-growth is not dramatic bursts of energy. It is the quiet repetition of right action over and over again until it becomes part of you. Discipline builds this repetition. It shapes who you are. It hardens your character. It turns effort into identity. On the 2 October, you must not only act with discipline, you must become discipline itself. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is never motivation. Both feel inspired sometimes. Both feel discouraged sometimes. The difference is discipline. One keeps going no matter what, and the other stops when it gets hard. 2 October must be the day you commit fully to never stopping, to never breaking the chain, to never allowing weakness to take over. This is the point of no return, and discipline is the bridge that carries you forward. Discipline is also respect for time. It is proof that you understand how limited your hours are, and you will not waste them. When you waste time, you disrespect yourself. When you are disciplined, you honor yourself. You show that your goals matter enough to sacrifice for. You show that your growth matters enough to stay consistent for. 2 October is the day to set this respect into stone. Do not wait for the feeling to come. Do not hope that inspiration will arrive. Do not rely on chance. Decide, act, repeat. That is discipline. And that is how 2 October becomes the beginning of transformation instead of just another date on the calendar. Motivation may open the door, but discipline is what keeps you walking through it. On 2 October, you must walk forward, not because you feel like it, but because you decided to. Once that decision is made, nothing can stop you. This is the truth of discipline. This is the truth of growth. This is why 2 October is the moment you leave the old self behind and build the new one with unshakable strength. Life is shaped by decisions. Every choice you make sends you in a direction, and those directions build into your destiny. This is why 2 October holds such weight. It is not just another day passing by. It is a day where decisions will carry more weight than ever before. The smallest action you take, the smallest choice you commit to will set in motion a chain of events that lead you to strength or to weakness, to growth or to decline. On a 2 October, your decisions matter more than your wishes, more than your dreams, more than your intentions. Only action counts. There is a truth that many ignore. Indecision is also a decision. To wait, to hesitate, to delay, that is choosing to stay in the same place. And staying in the same place when life is moving forward is the same as falling behind. This is why 2 October cannot be wasted in hesitation. Every decision must be made with clarity, with courage, with responsibility. Because once the moment passes, it will not return. You may believe that one small choice does not matter, but life is built on small choices. Each one shapes the next, and together they form the structure of who you are. Choosing discipline over comfort one day creates the strength to choose it again the next. Choosing growth over fear one moment creates momentum that carries you forward. On 2 October, these choices become defining. Each action you take that day will echo into the days ahead. Decision is not about knowledge. You already know what you must do. Decision is about courage. It is about taking the step even when fear is whispering in your ear. It is about choosing what is difficult when the easy option tempts you. On a 2nd October, courage must outweigh fear. If you want a new destiny, you cannot keep making the same choices. You cannot keep choosing what feels safe. You must decide to move into the unknown, because that is where growth lives. The destiny you long for is already waiting, but it cannot be reached without decisions that align with it. Every time you choose laziness over action, you step away from it. Every time you choose doubt over belief, you close the door a little more. But every time you choose discipline over comfort, courage over fear, and a focus over distraction, you move closer. On the 2 October, you must see this clearly. The door to your destiny does not open by chance, it opens by decision. Some will let 2 October pass as though it means nothing. They will waste the day in distraction, in excuses, in hesitation, and their lives will continue in the same cycle of frustration. Others will see it for what it is, a moment that demands seriousness, a moment where decisions cannot be delayed, a moment that holds the weight of the future, and they will act with force, with focus, with courage. These are the people who will step into transformation. Decisions are not about words, they are about actions. Saying you will change means nothing if you do not act on it. Promising yourself a new life means nothing if you do not build it. 2nd October is about action. It is about walking the path, not just talking about it. It is about proving to yourself through what you do that you are serious about your growth. Every decision that day must be lived, not spoken. The beauty of decision is that it is always within your control. You may not control the world, you may not control the circumstances, but you always control the choice you make in response. That is your power. On 2nd of October, this power must be used with intention. It must be used to break old cycles, to embrace discipline, to step forward into a new chapter. Because if you do not decide, life will decide for you, and it will not take you where you want to go. Understand that destiny is not one great event waiting in the distance. It is the sum of your decisions collected over time, shaping you day after day. 2nd of October is powerful because it is the reminder that the future is being written right now. It is being written in the choice to rise early or to stay in bed, in the choice to focus or to waste time, in the choice to step forward or to retreat. Each one is small, but together they define everything. So when 2 October comes, treat every choice as sacred. Treat every decision as weighty. Do not waste even one, because in that day, you are not only shaping the next 24 hours, you are shaping the path ahead, the months ahead, the years ahead. You are setting the tone for everything that follows. This is why it is the point of no return. Once you see the power of your decisions, you cannot go back to pretending that they do not matter. On the 2nd of October, decide with courage, decide with clarity, decide with strength. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. Do not hope for a sign. Do not delay for another day. The moment is already here. The power is already in your hands. Your destiny is being written with every choice you make. Make it count. 2nd of October is not a day to hide. It is not a day to escape from responsibility or to wait for someone else to take the lead. It is the day where courage must rise and responsibility must be embraced fully. This is why it is the point of no return. You cannot keep running from yourself. You cannot keep blaming circumstances, people, or time. On 2nd of October, the only choice is to stand tall, face what you have avoided, and carry the weight of your own life with strength. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom. The moment you take full responsibility, you are no longer controlled by excuses. You no longer give power to others over your life. You no longer say, I am this way because of them, or I cannot succeed because of that. On the 2nd of October, responsibility means looking directly in the mirror and saying, everything that happens from this day forward is on me. That truth may feel heavy, but it is also the beginning of true growth. Courage is the engine that drives this responsibility forward. Without courage, you will hesitate. You will see the challenges ahead and step back. You will think the weight is too much to carry. But courage pushes you into the fire instead of away from it. On the 2 October, courage means stepping into discomfort, stepping into the unknown, stepping into everything you once feared. Because fear is only broken when you face it directly. Avoiding it only makes it grow. The dramatic power of 2 October comes from the fact that this is not just another chance. It is a call. It is a call to rise, a call to stop shrinking, a call to embrace the challenges that will forge you into something greater. Responsibility means saying yes to the weight of life, not trying to escape it. Courage means lifting that weight with full force, no matter how heavy it feels. Together, they are the keys to transformation. You must understand that growth will never come without responsibility. If you keep waiting for someone else to save you, you will wait forever. If you keep hoping life will become easier without you changing, you will stay trapped. On 2 October, you must take ownership of your path. You must accept that no one else will live your life for you. No one else will walk your path for you. No one else will carry your dreams for you. It is all on you, and this is where courage must meet responsibility. This does not mean the journey will be smooth. It will test you. It will challenge you. It will break you down at times. But responsibility means you do not quit. Courage means you keep going no matter what. On a 2 October, when the weight feels heavy, you must remember this is how strength is built. Without weight, there is no growth. Without responsibility, there is no maturity. Without courage, there is no breakthrough. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward while fear still whispers in your ear. Responsibility is not about never making mistakes. It is about owning those mistakes and learning from them. On 2 October, both will be tested. You will face doubts, distractions, and the temptation to give in to weakness. But this is why the day matters so much. It demands that you rise higher than you ever have before. Every act of responsibility is a declaration of strength. Every act of courage is a declaration of freedom. When you take ownership of your time, you stop wasting it. When you take ownership of your habits, you stop falling into old cycles. When you take ownership of your goals, you stop blaming and start building. On the 2nd of October, this is the transformation waiting for you. The shift from avoidance to ownership, from weakness to strength, from fear to courage. Do not think courage is something you find by chance. It is built. It is trained. Every time you step into what scares you, every time you face what you wanted to avoid, your courage grows. On the 2nd of October, you must practice this deliberately. Step into what challenges you. Do not run from it. Embrace it and let it shape you. That is how courage becomes part of who you are. Responsibility works the same way. It begins small, taking control of your time, your focus, your actions, and then it grows into something bigger. Soon you are not only responsible for your tasks, but also for your destiny. On 2 October, this growth begins with a simple choice: to stop blaming, to stop escaping, and to start owning everything. From that moment, the weight you carry becomes the force that makes you unshakable. 2 October will not give you permission to hide. It will not allow you to remain weak. It will strip away excuses and demand courage. It will place responsibility on your shoulders and demand strength. This is why it is the point of no return. Once you embrace this, you can never go back to the life of delay and avoidance. You will see clearly that courage and responsibility are not optional. They are the foundation of self-growth. On the 2 October, rise into courage. On the 2 October, embrace responsibility. Do not fear the weight, because the weight is what builds you. Do not fear the challenge, because the challenge is what transforms you. This is the day to stand firm, to take ownership, to move forward without hesitation. From this moment on, you are no longer waiting, no longer hiding, no longer running. You are carrying your life with strength and courage, and there is no turning back.